With this, another memory flashed through his mind. He remembered how his father, perhaps about 2 years prior to this moment, had showed him with a telescope the planet of Saturn. As quick as this memory came to his numb mind, his eyes refocused on the rock below that had now appeared much larger than seconds before. Within his peripheral vision, he could now make out lights from a few surrounding houses near the bottom of the nearly 150-foot drop-off of the sand rocks that had created this soon-to-be life-altering experience. Then, just as he closed his eyes before impact, the 12-year-old found himself to have made a sudden stop within. Opening his eyes, he wondered for a moment if it was his life just coming to an end, the sudden experience of life after death, or, though the darkness, he couldn't see what had caught him. He could see, however, that something or someone was holding him tightly, holding him close to themselves. As his head was rested against the sternum of someone's chest, he could feel that that person was using their arms to hold him in the fetal position, under his legs and the center of his back. Feeling that he had free motion of his left arm, he raised his hand up over his own head, hoping to be able to identify the person holding him. As he did so, his fingers followed up his protector's sternum to the base of the person's neck. "Just hold on, Eddie. We're almost back to the top of the sand rocks." "Malachi, is that you?" the shaken 12-year-old asked. "Yes, Eddie. I told you that I could fly." In memory of. In memory of. Kim Iriguruk Ney Jr. August 22, 1975. January 22, 2004. It's in the Blood, Chapter 1. "Well, Malachi, what did you wish for this year?" David asked his son just as he blew out the 13 candles. Nicole had been the only friend outside of the immediate family that had been invited to the celebration. This wasn't due to the lack of friends, but rather Malachi's idea that this would make a better personal impression onto Nicole. Looking up from the cake as his father asked his question, Malachi stared into Nicole's eyes from across the table. "My wish is to spend the rest of my life with the person that I love the most." Malachi's voice was extremely stern as he answered his father. With his answer, the rest of the family turned and stared at Nicole. "I love you, Malachi," Nicole said as a tear ran down her face. "I want to spend the rest of my life with you too." With this response, everyone paused for a moment, and then simultaneously began to clap hands. The fact that Malachi was only 13 years old had weighed pretty hard on David's mind, as his son had repeatedly made insinuations of a long life with Nicole. To remain positive, however, and wishing that his son would grow up happy, he never took any part of arguing against Malachi's wishes. "Hey, Corina," Mrs. Sanchez spoke up just as the clapping faded away. "How about you and I do the dishes together? I need some one-on-one time with you for a little while," the older women said as the rest of the family went out into the backyard. "Is everything all right, Mom?" Corina asked with a look of worry on her face. "Yes, of course. I just need to talk with you." Then suddenly the doorbell rang, interrupting the two women. "I'll be right back, Mom. I'll go see who that is," Corina said as she walked out of the kitchen, and then down the stairs. As Corina opened the door, she looked down into the eyes of a boy about Malachi's age. Pulling his hands out from behind him, he held out a present. "Mom, is Malachi home?" "Yeah, he is. What's your name? I don't think that I've met you before." "My name is Eddie. I'm in Malachi's class at school. He had told me once, long time ago, that his birthday is on May 24th. I went and bought something for him with my allowance," Eddie continued as he looked up to Corina. "Well, that's very thoughtful of you. Come on in, Eddie. The kids are outside in the backyard. You can get to them through the sliding glass door in the kitchen," Corina said as she led the way up the steps. "Thank you, ma'am," Eddie finished, and then exited the kitchen to the fenced-in yard behind the house. "Well, gee,